The Oscars were terrible like every year. Let's move on to the next terrible thing we're going to talk about.
Oh, we're just tacking Batman Superman onto the end of this video? Just a completely unrelated note, Batman Superman.
We'll just cut it in half here's the thing.
Speaking of the best quote-unquote movies of the year, let's talk about the worst fucking movie ever. Batman Superman, we watched the 3-hour extended cut. We were kind of doing a hiatus from the channel when we when Batman Superman actually came out. God damn, did this movie suck balls. The extended cut was better than the original one in the way of story development and stuff, because we actually added scenes that slightly more humanized Superman. It was still a mess. People were like, every problem solved with the extended version. No, there's pretty much every problem still there. Some of them are slightly fixed, but then it's 3 hours long, and it was probably one of the most boring movie experiences I've ever had.
As far as it goes, the extended cut is putting a band-aid over a bullet wound. It's still, you're still gonna die.
Bleeding through it, yeah.
You're still gonna die. It's just slightly slower.
Not really.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the damn thing. Every scene that was added in the extended cut
that I could even see, a lot of it I couldn't even tell,
was just more talking, and while it helped improve
some of it was just pointless crap.
It helped improve the character motivations very, very slightly. It also extended the length of the movie a half hour to just be the most miserable experience.
It made it from literally exactly 2.5 hours to 3 hours and 1 minute.
This movie is a boring catastrophe, full of nonsensical plot elements, plot holes, inconsistent characters,
crappy dialogue,
awful CGI.
You can't fix awful CGI. You can't fix Jesse Eisenberg's awful performance.
Oh, God.
Superman was slightly less like emo.
Should we go through the whole movie?
What do you mean, go through the whole movie?
Just scene by scene. We gotta break this thing down, I think.
I mean, I don't even know where to start, you know what I'm saying? It's like a million things I could talk about.
Oh my God.
I would need a list of things. I mean, the main point of it is, even with the 3-hour cut, I've heard a lot of arguments like it fixes shit, but if they wanted to fix shit, they would just cut half the plot lines out. I mean, this movie's base has its own plots elements. Like, half the movie is original shit, and then half the movie is supposed to combine like elements of like 8,000 different comic arcs like there's Death of Superman, Return of Superman, fucking Dark I'm sorry, fucking Death of the Family was teased in it. Batman's entire origin was teased in it. There were shouts ahead to the Justice League.
This movie's biggest problem is that it has so much going on. It's like the same thing.
It's a clusterfuck.
And Phantom Menace had going on at the end.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not just like Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace actually had to do with the story. So much of this shit was like, oh, this movie's gonna happen in 3 years, maybe.
Phantom Menace had 50 things going on in the last 10 minutes. This has 50 things going on throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
You got Batman murdering people.
Well, how much of it did cut out, too?
Batman murdering people. Batman has nightmares. Batman wants to fight Superman. Batman trains to fight Superman. They fight. And then at the same time, you got Superman's a good guy. Superman's sick of saving people. Superman and Lois Lane fuck. And then at the same time, you got Lois Lane's in the desert. And then she's trying to find a magic bullet. And then she's doing some other stupid shit.
And Lex Luthor's off to the side doing all sorts of shit.
Lex Luthor's putting candy in people's mouths. He's peeing in jars. He's blowing up retarded people.
Batman's checking out the Justice League whilst the Justice League of the Future is trying to warn Batman, and like Wonder Woman's sitting off to the side for some
future. Wonder Woman's walking around looking at people, and then Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere in the end, and Batman and Superman look at each other and they're like, who's this? And they don't know because it's never explained.
Well, Batman knows, but not Superman. Superman's like, what the fuck? And Batman, I guess, didn't expect her to become Wonder Woman. I don't fucking know.
And then Lex Luthor brings General Zod, turns into a giant monster.
Turns into Doomsday.
And Doomsday...
with very little explanation on how he knew that he could just drag the dead-ass corpse and
Doomsday
mix it with his blood and bring it back to life. He just does it.
Superman and Doomsday fight in space and get nuked, and then Doomsday becomes even bigger and shoots lasers. and Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman all team up, but this is after Batman and Superman punch each other for a while, and then they both have moms, and then
named Martha. That was
Amy Adams throws
like a half hour, dude.
Amy Adams throws the kryptonite spear in the water, and then seconds later she goes to get it and almost drowns. And there's just so much stuff.
Like a half hour later.
All this stuff is just happening at the same time, and it just makes the entire movie a weird, bad, awful clusterfuck that goes nowhere.
Yeah, go for it. This movie, probably the most fucked up thing about this movie, it's not just that it's a complete clusterfuck of various plot lines, and the fact that every character in it's cringy as fuck and has no good motivation, even though there's 2.5 hours where they easily could have established it, because this movie's just talking for the first 2 hours, then an hour of a very drawn out series of fight scenes that all connect into one super drawn out fight scene. But if you look at it, it's like, yes, I get the Justice League hints in there, but they did way too many Justice League hints. Like, I got it with the computer stuff. Did I need Flash to come back to the past? Did I need horribly out of character Superman? So wait, in this alternate future, Doomsday starts to take over with his Doomsday minions, and Superman, for some reason, because Lois Lane dies at the hands of Doomsday, decides he's gonna team up with Darkseid to destroy the whole Earth. Well, now Superman's even more out of character. He's not a hero whatsoever at all. He tries to kill all the Justice League, kills Batman in front of us, all because he's mad. At least in like Injustice, where Superman becomes evil, it's like his mind snaps and he thinks the best way to save people is to become like a dictator, and that's the best way to help people because he knows what's best. In this one, he just kills everyone. There's no motivation for it.
He's just an edgelord. Batman's
and at the end of the day, it's like, I get that it kind of adds stakes to Lois's life, but at the same time, it's like, A, it's unnecessary, B, it's completely out of character, C, it becomes completely pointless by the end of the movie, and D, it teases the Flash for fucking no reason when we already had like 2 other teasers of Flash.
You can boil all the characters down in this movie to just horrible, horrible shit. Superman is Jesus. Batman is Sasuke Uchiha.
Yeah. Yes.
Lex Luthor is
the
YouTube
Joker.
He's Heath Ledger's Joker mixed with the YouTube atheists. And oh my god, Zack Snyder put so many religious things in this goddamn movie.
You forgot about Cripple Man and his whole fucking story arc that goes for like the first third of the movie.
I talked about that. I said Lex Luthor blows up retarded people.
Blows up Crippled Man and kills everybody. But his fucking story arc is stupid as fuck.
Zack Snyder goes so ham on the religious references in this movie where
it's blatant.
Every time Superman's flying around,
does like
he's
does like
on the
nods. Yeah, he's like fucking got a crown of thorns.
Lex Luthor has a big painting of demons and angels fighting, and then he turns it upside down.
The thing I hate
come
too
from
is Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder thinks people are so stupid. He throws these religious metaphors in there that are so like kind of obvious.
And
then it's like, just in case you're the stupid 8th grader who didn't get what these religious metaphors are. Superman's Jesus Christ, and everybody makes a note to say that in like every scene where it's like, oh, do you not get the message? Do you not get the message? Here's the message.
At the end of the movie, they're like reading a Bible passage about Jesus coming back to life, and Superman comes back to life.
Superman's fucking...
The entire time Lex Luthor's like, if I had my katana, I could slice down gods. Gods aren't above man because my dad beat me. Or something.
Yeah, and his dad was in Nazi Germany or something like that.
Oh my god.
The whole movie is just crazy edgy. I mean, the only good part about the whole movie was it was kind of like Ben Affleck's Batman was like Ewan McGregor. Like, if he had good material, I think he would have made a good Batman. Like, if the director of the Batman movie ever gets decided and somehow they get a script that doesn't get scrapped and they keep like the basic action intact and actually write Batman like Batman and give him a cool, like a good, accurate batsuit. Like, the batsuits look good, even though every other costume in this movie looked like Garbo. And every other character model in this movie, specifically Doomsday, looked like shit. But I mean, you can kind of see like it buried around 16 tons of coal. There's like one little diamond in the middle twinkling, like a diamond this big, and it's like you can bust that open, polish it off, put it in a beautiful ring, and have a good Batman movie. But chances are DC will botch that too. But apparently a Nightwing movie's happening from the director of the Lego Batman movie, so that happens, that might actually somehow, I mean, if that movie's good, that could be the saving grace DC needs, but I don't trust shit until I see the fucking movies happen, and honestly, I really can't trust shit at all, because how do you mess up Batman vs. Superman? Like, first off, Batman vs. Superman shouldn't be fighting, it should be a team-up movie. If they fight, it should be for like the first 10 minutes, then they kind of explain their side, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. But this movie botched it all. It sucked.
If this movie didn't have to be a Batman origin movie at the same time, which it kind of was,
I don't know.
It introduced the audience to Batman, which is the point. If they didn't have to introduce Batman to the audience, they would have cut, well no, they would have cut quite a bit, because we had to see Batman do so much shit. I'm not just talking about his actual origin at the start, but you see Batman solving petty crimes.
Lifting weights.
You see Batman lifting weights. You
Well,
see
here's the
Batman
thing.
sitting around in the Batcave.
You can't fully blame that, because a lot of that shit is like actually, some of those
Make the
Batman
Batman
Batcave
solo
scenes-
movie first. That's the fix.
I mean, yeah.
Don't rush your damn shitty cinematic universe.
That's the problem, but if we're talking with the material presented, you can't really not have Batman fight petty crime, because if he just comes out of nowhere, he's like, I hate Superman now. Like, Batman really has a multi-part origin. Technically, his origin's told in the flashback in like 5 minutes, which is probably the most effective way to do it, even though in theory you could probably cut it out, because 90% of people get the point, and then you could just like briefly do that, tack that to the start of the Batman solo movie, and probably make that work somehow if you really need a retold origin. I don't really see how it related to this movie. I do get like Batman fighting petty crime and kind of going overboard. You kind of need to establish that on why Superman kind of gets mad, and like,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. But Batman, yeah, the origin story continues. It's like origin after origin. It's like first you get the flashback, then there's the other flashback where Metropolis is blowing up, and it's the origin of why Batman's mad at Superman. Then they kind of like give you like where Batman's character is directly after that, establish that. Like the first half hour of the movie is just establishing that. And then the thing is, Batman is arguably the main character of this movie, and yet he literally, like, other than saying some edgy shit about how he hates Superman, we know nothing about Batman, except that if you don't know Batman beforehand, if this was the first movie I saw, I would just be like, what in the fuck is going on? This dude's just some edgelord that wants to kill Superman because a building fell on a handicapped man that dies 15 minutes, or no, it was like an hour into the movie, but like an hour into the movie and ceases to be important, even though he's like a main part of the conflict at first. And then like there's so many plot holes. Like, did handicapped man know that the fucking thing was strapped with a bomb? The wheelchair? Like, how did Superman, like,
Why does
Superman has
Lex Luthor
X-ray
blow up his
vision?
own assistant?
Well, I don't know. Well, it was probably to make it look more realistic, and she probably didn't know shit. And he's supposed to be crazy like the Joker. And, well, my biggest question about it is, like, Superman has X-ray vision. Even subconsciously, you'd think on a level he'd be able to be, like, able to look through shit, and he's scanning around the room, and the handicapped man, he should be paying a fair amount of attention to. Like, if I was basically the reason the man got horribly crippled, and if Superman was characterized right, you'd probably feel pretty bad about the crippled man. Probably notice that the wheelchair is completely lead-lined. Probably has like a LexCorp sticker on the side, and is rigged to explode with thousands of pounds of explosives. Like, that wheelchair must have weighed 10,000 pounds. If there was enough lead in it that it could hide a giant bomb that could blow up an entire state capitol, and the lead was surrounding it. Like, you think Cripple Man was like, why does my wheelchair literally take like a fucking semi-truck battery and full like V8 engine to fucking operate with a turbo on it just to get into the fucking room? Like,
You know what pisses me off about this movie? And it's a very minor point, but it pisses me off.
what?
In that second or third or something Batman dream sequence, when there's the stupid ass jump scare when he's in his parents' tomb, that's fucking stupid.
And there's like
Don't
the
do
blood
that.
coming out. Yeah.
Don't put jump scares.
Most of
Don't
the,
do that.
I think all those dream sequences, except maybe like the actual assassination, like the assassination of his parents kind of worked. Like, that probably wasn't a bad place to put it. Tack it into the opening credits and kind of just establish that, and then go into the flashback sequence of Metropolis being blown up. But every other dream sequence, literally, you can't even make an argument that they make sense or have a point.
The
Like,
Mad
I guess
Max one doesn't even.
The Mad Max one
It
is
has
just
no
like, I
point.
want to make Batman and Mad Max. Like,
It has no point. point.
And it's like, I guess that basically if Lois dies, Superman becomes evil, and Batman has to compromise and start using guns and killing people.
And then it's
Superman's
followed by
people.
the super bizarre Flash cameo
Yeah.
where he's like, I'm in the future! And then he
horrible.
zips away.
But yes.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah, I know. That's basically what happens. And so, Flash in the future runs on the cosmic treadmill, or maybe he doesn't have that in this version. He just runs super fast and goes back in time, and is only able to stick in time. I think fucking their Flash choice is god awful. First off, but
Yep.
Flash is stupid as fuck in these movies. I don't even get why they casted Sheldon Cooper himself to be the fucking Flash. Like, he's not gonna translate well to the screen, and obviously it's impossible to write him as Barry Allen since he's horribly mischaracterized. They already fucked up that character. Like, every character established, the casting director for DC, I hope, got fired afterwards. He's like, Jared Leto can play Joker, Ezra Miller can play Flash. Basically just like, I don't even care that if you make Flash like Asian. That's not even, I know that's probably what people are probably thinking I'm saying, but I don't give a fuck if Flash is black, white, Asian, Muslim,
Asian.
or whatever the fuck he is. I don't think he's white, dude. I think he's literally Asian. Like, I've read that, or like he's Chinese or something.
I don't know. Mixed or something. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It really fucking doesn't matter, but the point is, I don't give a fuck what race Flash is. But it's like every character is pretty much horribly miscast for the most part. And the characters that aren't miscast, I mean, I could go into Wonder Woman in a second, but all their characters pretty much got botched from the starting line. There are a couple good casting choices, like Henry Cavill. I mean, he's a pretty crappy actor, but he looks like Superman. I can't really fault that, I guess. Ben Affleck, I think, is a good choice for Batman. Margot Robbie's a good choice for Harley Quinn if she's actually done right in future movies.
Okay, hold up.
But like,
Ezra Miller's not Asian in the slightest.
what is he?
Jewish.
Oh, he's Jewish too?
Always bet on Jewish.
Wonder Woman and fucking
Like 90%
Flash.
of people in Hollywood.
Wonder
are
Woman's
Jewish.
Arab. I heard she's Arab.
She's straight Jewish. She
Look that
literally was born in Israel.
Okay. Yeah, but the thing about Wonder Woman too is like, first off, they picked a lady with no IMDb
No, she was literally
type of
born
credits,
in
barely
Israel.
anything. Okay, that's fine. I get that. I heard that 5 minutes ago when you said it, but
Okay. I was just looking it up.
but she's barely an established actor, which is fine. They're like, okay, we'll go with someone unknown, kind of take a Star Wars approach, but she's not that good of an actress. She really doesn't do much. I guess she could be better. Wonder Woman's really gonna make or break it. But why didn't they pick someone like taller? Like in heels, she's like 6 inches shorter than Ben Affleck. She's not bulky at all. Like
She's
in
lame
Amazon,
as
should be
fuck.
like at least 6 foot tall, pretty buff. Not like it doesn't. I get that they want to keep her like feminine because she's Wonder Woman. You know, you gotta keep her like attractive. Like you can't have like veins popping out the side of both. Like I'm not saying like female bodybuilder, but like
Yeah, but she can't
if
be rail arms.
she probably could lift 60 pounds in real life, maybe, like bench press. And that's like if she's lucky. I don't even know about that. I'm thinking like 45-pound bar, 10 on each side type of looking arms. Like those things look so frail. Like I feel like I could give a light kick and snap those fuckers in half. I mean that. Yeah, but I mean like she's a weird casting choice, and maybe part of it's not even just casting, but it's like they didn't really like give any of the characters, and like they all kind of have the Star Wars prequel problem where it's like the material presented, no one can really prove themselves as an actor. Like Ben Affleck couldn't really prove himself as Batman. Henry Cavill couldn't really prove himself as Superman, and neither could Wonder Woman, because the crap that's written on the page is what they did. It's just stupid crap or crap that, you know, it's just nothing. I don't know. I hope it's good.
So anyway, let's kind of hit the end of the road on this discussion. Basically, to wrap it up, Batman vs Superman is a disaster, and making it 30 minutes longer just makes it 30 minutes more boring.
30 minutes more boring really doesn't fix anything. Honestly, if you had to choose one, even though technically I guess this film is ever so slightly better, this movie's just 30 minutes of extra boring crap, and it's like 3% better. The movie's like I said while we were watching it, 3% better, 25% more boring.
Yeah.
Because of the extra time. And honestly, everything added might have been like slight action shots that they're like, oh, we're gonna make it rated R if you put that in there. Like, just they cut shit to like put it at PG-13. So there might be like slight extra action shit, but barely noticeable extra action. And then like the fucking the extra talking scenes. There's like 2 scenes that actually were like important that added anything to the movie, and everything else was just boring bullshit. So that's our brief review of that. Eventually I'll get around to doing a comic book to movies on that. Eventually in like 2020. It's on my 2020 slate right now. And at that point I'll probably shit on the movie very much further. Probably won't watch it again until then, to be fully honest. But I guess next time we'll talk about a DC movie. It'll be Wonder Woman in like a couple months here, so whoop-de-doo on that one. Or a new DC movie. I'll probably talk about like the Batman serials and shit by then.
Yeah, anticipate
our fucking videos. Watch them. Fucking subscribe.